A lot of the diehards just stay on and on and on and refuse to go, including the former Republican presidential candidate, John McCain, esteemed senator from the fine state of Arizona. Senator, very good to have you.
It's good to see you, Neil. You were in our witness protection program. It's good to see you here. It's good to see you here in the city of Satan. We're trying to do the Lord's work.
Well, it's been as hot as Satan, I'll tell you that. What's going on? I mean, the deal is done. You signed on to it, grudgingly, you had said, but the markets are a whole nother story. Are the markets telling you guys something, or are they just acknowledging that in the middle of this, we've got a serious slowdown? What?
Look, you're the expert, so you could probably answer that question a lot better than I can, but I think it's because it's consumer spending. First time in 2 years it's been lowered. And let me remind you, since I believe it or not, I have such a dull life, I watch you all the time. But
I guess that's a compliment. I'll run with it, Senator.
The fact is, we control 1/3 of the government, as you know, the House of Representatives. And this committee, this committee that you've been talking about a lot, is 50-50. Right there, you've got an advantage. If you don't say that everything's on the table, then obviously they start taking things off the table. But I guarantee you, 6 members appointed by our Republican leaders, Boehner and McConnell, are not going to raise taxes. We know what the mandate is, or that would be off the table. But we didn't commit to that, because then they would say, okay, then this is off the table and this is off the table. Look, I think that if we did what we did today, in other words, cut spending for every dollar that we increase the debt limit over 10 years, we would erase the deficit. But did we do what we wanted and everything we wanted? Of course not. Did we get everything we wanted? Of course not. But it is the first time that we have seen a reduction in spending. Now, you think a lot of that is imaginary? I think a lot of it's going to have to do how it's implemented. And I hope we don't fool the American people again. I saw a poll today, you probably saw it. 84% of the American people say that Congress is acting like spoiled children. And 17%, I believe it was, said they were behaving as adults. I've yet to meet anyone who is in that 17% category.
Really? Is it that bad? I'm wondering, though, it's this event in November and December, Senator, when this committee, or whatever they're calling it, has to decide whether it gets to be contentious, whether we could be looking at something like this. What do you think?
I think it could be contentious, but I also believe that the people who will be appointed, particularly by Boehner and McConnell, will be individuals. For example, one of my candidates, maybe I shouldn't say it, I'm not making decisions, but one of my candidates would be Rob Portman, former head of OMB,
sure.
a very sober, knowledgeable person. I think those are the kind of people that are going to be on this committee, and I don't think they want their reputations to be, hey, we met and had a committee meeting and reported out nothing. But they will also have fundamental principles that I don't think they'll violate.
Do you think we've just gotten a temporary reprieve from the ratings agencies, though, Senator? Fitch Investors was among those saying, well, you know, for now, we like what you've done. I'm just paraphrasing. But we'll come back at the end of August with, I guess, an updated report card. In other words, a downgrade is still possible. And given the $2.1 trillion agreed to, well, appreciable, it wasn't the $4 trillion rating agencies had wanted.
And, you know, if I had my way, it'd be $10 trillion. But the point is that, and in all due respect, the rating agencies, they're the same ones that told us that everything in the housing market was fine.
Fair enough.
I think that's fair enough. But I also respect their view. I think they were going to downgrade us no matter what, unless we had enacted one of these huge spending cuts, and it was clear we weren't going to get more spending cuts unless you added tax increases.
That's what Mitch McConnell said yesterday, that was the issue, right? If you could have gotten up to the $4 trillion,
sure, if you want to raise taxes,
but a big chunk of it would have been tax hikes.
You and I have disagreed from time to time, but one thing we agree on, every time we have raised taxes, it has hurt our economy. And there'll be people who say that's not true.
But the president won't let go of it today, Senator. What'd you make of that, even in his remarks on this whole deal?
He just wants to spend money.
Tax hikes.
Hello, he just wants to spend more money. You and I remember when Ronald Reagan said the worst deal he ever made was when he sat down with the Democrats and said they would cut spending $3 and raise taxes for every $1. Guess what? They raised taxes and they didn't cut spending. That's why the Tea Partiers and others, whether not I'm not a Tea Partier, but the fact is we need a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution. We couldn't get it through the Senate as the Senate is presently constituted.
People just have to look at
but
the
we
reality of
have
that.
to pass it. We have to get a constitutional amendment.
All right, Senator, always
Thanks for
good
having
seeing
me
you.
on.
Get
It's
home
great
safe.
to see you.
Same
It's
here.
wonderful
Same
to
here.
see you.
I know that you're a grudging
I don't care what the rest of these guys say about you. I think you're doing a great job.
John McCain, the former presidential candidate, Republican dynamo here in these parts. All right, so